Trying to assess what is this power grab that has taken over in government and where is it going? Because every policy that you're seeing right now being executed in Mercedes is actually a policy that is stripping and eroding our strength as a free people. But what really concerns me is that I have this cosmic worldview that nations are all interconnected. And that so my biblical study and my historic study says that empires rise and fall. Nebuchadnezzar once had a statue that was made of gold with the head of Babylon. Then it went to the Persian Empire, and then it went to the Greek Empire, then it went to Rome, and then it went to another iteration, which would be the last days part of that statue, would be the feet. But what I'm saying is, it looks like China is the emerging global empire, and Marxism is the emerging global force because it's shaping us. Cancel culture is cultural Marxism. It's China with a different weapon. So when we look at President Biden, we see a symbol of the vitality and strength, cohesion, and power of the West. With Trump, there was a global sense of caution and restraint in dealing with him. He was a vibrant general in his own army. With Biden, I fear that they now see and smell weakness, and they probably believe that the election was manipulated themselves and that they're dealing with a weak regime that has no moral authority. That's how they're talking to us globally. So what set this up symbolically, as you showed me this week, is Biden's dance routine on the tarmac and on the steps going up to Airforce One. What happened?
Yeah, well, there were a couple of things that happened this week. So, I mean, obviously, you've got this scene where he's going up the steps and he trips not once, not twice, but actually 3 times he took a tumble there. And then also, we also had this moment this week where he was giving a speech on the vaccinations. And I think we have this clip as well. Let's go ahead and play that one.
Now, when President Harris and I took...
President Harris, well...
I couldn't agree more.
Couldn't agree more. And so you've got these incidents happening that has a lot of people wondering. Also, he's not taking very many questions. I mean, that was kind of the big news, I think, the beginning of this week, last weekend. He hasn't taken any questions for the press, hasn't done his own presser. And then it almost looked a little staged. There was one question that got asked about, don't you think Donald Trump should be saying something about getting the vaccination? One question was asked. He gave a little speech, put the mask on, and then walked away. Just a lot of question marks with people wondering, is he okay? What's actually happening? And so, my take on this might be a little different. I was even watching Tucker the other night, and he was like, it's almost not laughable. But here's the thing. Here's how I feel about Joe Biden, okay? First of all, he's been in politics longer than I've been alive. So he was sworn in as a United States Senator, I want to say, wait, I have it right here, 1973. Guys, that's just not to date myself, but 11 years before I was born. This man is a swamp creature of swamp creatures. And so he's still out there towing the Democratic Party line. And to your point, Lance, who really is behind the administration here? We're really not sure. But I love what you said in the first segment because it has to do with what you talked about, the anatomy of power. At the end of the day, it's not actually about H.R. 1. It's not actually about immigration. It's about power and maintaining power and ruling through fear and intimidation. And so, Lance, that's what I love what you talked about. You actually put, honestly, I'm going to brag on you here. You put it in the book. You said the coercive power they'll rule with is fear. The compensatory power they'll rule with is greed. And then the conditional power will be deception. And so how many times do we see that in the media? Just lie after lie after lie. And so the thing that I struggle with as Republicans when we're out here saying, oh, is he okay? Oh, don't laugh at him. Don't laugh at it. It's sad. It's senior abuse. I'm like, he's still doing the thing that he's done for decades, and he's towing the Democratic line. And he's signing executive order after executive order. I'm going to hold him accountable. And you know what? I'm going to laugh at him because he laughed at Donald Trump. And I got those clips, too. Let's play the one of him making fun of Trump walking down the ramp.
Look at how he steps and look how I step. Watch how I run up ramps and he stumbles down ramps, okay? Come on.
Yeah, so listen, this was during the campaign he's making. He's not some innocent, helpless old Joe Biden. And then actually, he put it in a campaign ad. Can we run the 10 seconds of that campaign ad?
Some people are always in a hurry. They run when they could walk, race up steps when others take it slow. When Joe Biden's president, America is just going to have to keep up.
Yeah, or just slow down, Joe. Stop running up steps. Who runs everywhere? You know, I feel like that's a comedy sketch. So with that said, and I've given you my reasons of why I'm going to laugh at Joe Biden, America's Funniest Home Video style, because there's a whole genre of comedy of slapstick, people falling down. I think we missed something in the first clip. Could we just play that one more time? I don't know if you caught this or not, but let's play that. Dude, it's so funny. And then I don't know, Lance, if you know this, but because of everything that's happened, there are some updates that Airforce One is implementing. And so we've got some footage of that. I just wanted to show you the improvements they've made. Yes. That's right. You got to laugh at that. You got to laugh at that. I'm going to now call it Chairforce One instead of Airforce One with an improvement like that. So anyways, Lance, you know, I just wanted to give you the rundown on all of the presidential gaffes this week, and I'm going to laugh at it. And I would encourage you to do it too. And as Republicans, I don't think we should be playing into this narrative of, oh, poor old helpless Joe. I mean, he's not poor old helpless Joe. He's exactly where he's supposed to be. He's exactly where he wanted to be. And when you play into that narrative, in my opinion, you're only speeding up the President Kamala Harris time period. I think we're playing into the narrative they want us to play into. So anyways, those are my opinions this week, Lance.
Yes, and you might remember that I predicted that Kamala Harris was going to be the president if Donald Trump wasn't president. And it wasn't because she was popular. Her own party doesn't like her. It's because Eric Holder, Barack Obama, George Soros, and the infrastructure that is actually shaping the Biden agenda put her in, because she will be their the ultimate puppet master, and they'll be the ones pulling the strings. So you want to pray for Joe Biden. I'm serious about this. Pray for longevity, but understand the signs of the times. You're watching America be humbled, and it's because 50% of America wants this. Rush Limbaugh, before he died, made a very powerful statement, and it was in his one of his final moments on the air. He said he didn't doubt that there was election interference. He said, but that doesn't change the fact that 50% of the Senate, 50% of Congress is a reflection of the fact that 50% of America wants these policies. We're in a battle, literally, of persuasion. Us talking to ourselves is important because we have to be informed, and we can't be in despair, and we can't be going down rabbit trails. It's like we want to have that action, action, action idea that Churchill said, and Bannon's War Room talks about. But we have to have action, and it's intelligent. In the balance of global power, when a president stumbles, they look weak. When a leader of a pack looks weak, the other wolves start to mistreat it. That's the danger of a weak-looking president. It's perceived as weak by Putin, who this week challenged Biden to a live debate, knowing that he's probing that embarrassment in the administration, that Biden has to be managed every minute of his day, or he might embarrass the country by mentally stumbling on the steps as he does physically. So Putin sees weakness. China sees weakness, and China is going to relentlessly exploit it. And so what you've got now is the American delegation that went to Alaska was actually publicly rebuked by the Chinese delegation. But what makes it particularly embarrassing for our Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, and we got to wonder, what was Blinken thinking? because he went there as though he could morally lecture China, and China took the Democrat Party Black Lives Matter talking points. Listen to what I'm telling you. They took the Black Lives Matter talking points about defunding the police, systemic racism. America's a racist country, that America, as you know, has always been a racist and unfair country, that it's founded on racism. They took the Democrat talking points and reiterated them back to the American delegation. And so you see, the Democrats don't just talk to America, they talk to the world, which is why I think CNN should be held accountable for slandering the United States in front of the entire world with every salacious lie they told, from Russian prostitutes urinating on Trump's bed to Russia collusion. They have done more damage to our country's credibility than anything. And Trump, curiously enough, did more to restore our prestige globally. So now China is going to continue a different kind of abuse of America. It's the abuse of a power that knows it's dealing with a weak adversary. And we're going to see where that goes as it continues to unfold.
Lance Wallnau has just released his latest book, God's Chaos Code.
You need to know the code. You need to know what's happening right now. There is a code in the chaos. There's a purpose in the shaking. Once you see this, it's going to give stability and strength to you. God is literally raising up an awakening generation right now. It's hidden in the code.
You need to know the code. Order God's Chaos Code now at godschaoscode.com.